How's it going? Spider from Baditude, rock and roll!
I love that.
People will not get used to it. Tonight, I'm in some great presence of some great musicians and some great people, just quietly. You've invited me to your house.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Very welcome.
We've got Rose CARLEO, Adkins from the Rose CARLEO Band, and Mick ADKINS from Road Sharks and also Rose CARLEO Band as a guitarist. Again, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Firstly, congratulations on your grandson.
Yes.
Thank you. I know it's a bit exciting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, all the way down to Tassie.
2 weeks old.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're getting daily photos and videos sent to us.
Oh, that's brilliant.
He's absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, so we had 3 days with him the weekend just gone.
Yeah, stupid me's ringing up the other day. Hey, listen, mate, you want to talk some music? Oh, I'm just out with my new grandson in Tasmania. Okay, I'll shut up. Look, you've both been together for a while, and look, I'm noticing around the house, and it's a beautiful house with these loving photos, you know, and you've been together in music for a long time. I don't know where that's the love stems. So as a fan, I'd like to know how'd that start? How'd that relationship start?
You want me to go?
Yeah, you go.
Okay. So, the relationship started 10 years ago.
Right.
But we've known each other for 20-something years now. Well, since 1993. Because I moved to Perth in 93 and started gigging around the middle of the year.
Yep.
And the first gigs that we had were at the Backstage Bar. And it was 2 or 3 bands, and we used to get paid $150 and a carton of VB.
Oh, beautiful. As we all did. I think we still do.
Anyway, no one in the band would drink that, so I ended up with it. And I never drank it, and I just gave it away to friends.
Yeah.
As I was meeting friends, and they'd come around and I'd give them a carton of VB to remember me by.
Yeah, I used to play roadies in it, but anyway.
But, and there was one night in particular when my band was the first band on, and then Rose's band came on after us, and we had a female singer, and we thought we were pretty shit hot.
Yeah.
And then she just showed us up.
Nice.
Yeah. And
That's funny.
yeah.
I would expect that.
Yeah.
And what was I wearing?
I can still remember.
See?
Yeah. A white pirate shirt.
The 90s.
And slinging a tobacco burst Les Paul.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
That was instant love.
It was a
not
guitar.
quite,
It was a
'cause
guitar.
we were both in other relationships.
Yeah.
But we always crossed paths with the bands.
Yeah.
And then it was about, I don't know, 18 months later, James Morley from the Angels, he'd actually left the Angels about 18 months or 2 years prior.
Yeah.
And he saw me playing in an AC/DC tribute show at Planet Nightclub over there, and after that show he came backstage and asked me to have a chat, and ended up asking me to join his band. And he just...
Why do we always start in AC/DC tribute bands? It's a very common theme, isn't it?
But he'd been looking for a guitarist, and I couldn't understand why he was asking me, because he was playing with some very, very high-profile musicians over there. But he was after more the rhythm playing side of it, because he was die-hard with the 2-part rhythm guitar attack and that sort of thing. So ended up being recruited into his original band to help promote his album that he'd done, his first solo album. And that started off as a 4-piece band, and eventually morphed into, we had a keyboard player and some female backup singers, and then eventually Rose was asked to join the band, and she was basically up the back doing all the backing vocals. But then James sort of decided that he liked to play guitar and
Drink.
run amok.
Yeah.
So Rose did a lot of the lead vocals. So we were playing right up until I left Perth to go back to Tassie and start a family there. And it's funny because a week before I left, Rose rang to say, "Oh, what are you doing? Can you join my band?"
Yeah.
And I said, "No, we're moving back to Tassie."
To have my stepson.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
So and then it was 16 years later, something like that. I happened to be online looking to buy some music, and I stumbled across Rose's. There was a page, Rose CARLEO, and there were these albums, and I ended up buying one, and I sent an email that went to the website, and I congratulated her on what she was doing, and cause had no idea.
No.
I'd been back to Perth a few times to do some gigs with James.
Yeah.
But at that stage, so what year? 2012. I just started going back to Perth to do shows.
Yeah.
2009, because we had James and I had put a band together called Raise the Flag, and we had Gleeso and Paul Wosein and Paul Wheeler, and we were doing sort of corporate shows and big shows like that.
Yeah.
And it was just we just happened to somehow cross paths via buying an album, and sort of kept in touch that way. And then
So when did you officially hook up?
2012. 2012, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
actually,
we were actually long distance. I was in Tassie and Rose was here.
nine months long distance. We were just chatting.
No, it's worked.
We were actually chatting guitars.
Yeah,
I wanted
yeah.
to know if there was a picture of a
There was
Les
this
Paul.
guitar,
There
wasn't
was a
there?
picture of a Les Paul I saw him with, and I'm like, dude, hi, how you going? What model guitar is that? It was
Photo
that
of me
guitar.
playing.
Oh, the
Yeah.
Love Maker.
Yeah.
Hey, Gibson are going to bring out the new model Love Maker Les Paul. Look, the two of you as a team is great. I mean, and if there's any old footage from those old days, I've been interested in seeing it. But you're great as a team. Rose, currently you're still with your own band.
Yep, Rose CARLEO Band, yeah.
Rose
yeah.
CARLEO, yeah. No, I know you're still gigging around, isn't
Yeah, we're recording at the moment, but
Yeah.
we've got a few shows planned for next year, and probably not this year at this point with everything.
Yeah.
It's been a little bit up and down, but
So
yeah.
can you run through the not so much the current stuff, we'll talk about that later, but the past albums you've done,
Yep.
and some of and more so the singles and all that as well.
Sure, yeah. Well, I started singing when I was 13. Started playing bass in a band when I was 16. I was a shit, but sorry, am I allowed to say shit?
I don't know.
I was a terrible.
Of course you can.
I was a shit bass player. Anyway, look, I grew up with a lot of different styles of music. My mum was a huge country music fan, as was I, and still am. And as well as rock and roll. You know, she'd be playing Patsy Cline one day, then AC/DC the next day. You know what I mean? So a really eclectic taste. So I started sort of doing a lot of country rock stuff. More of the songwriting side of it, because I fell in love with country music because of the stories.
Yeah.
You know, you'd be waiting for the next verse. What happened to him? What do they do?
Yeah,
that
yeah.
kind of thing. So, so I released an EP. Then I released an album in 2007, I think it was, when I moved to Brisbane from Perth.
Yeah.
And then I released my second sort of country rock crossover album, and that's when I was chatting earlier. I met Glen Baker, and that was in 2010. I think that might have been the album you bought. I'm not sure. Possibly,
That went on the ARIA charts.
No, the next one did.
The next one did, yeah.
So then the next album was Time Is Now, which was in 2015. So Mick and I had got together in 2012, and then we started writing lots of music and stuff and collaborating. And I really wanted to do more of a rock album.
Yeah.
Which is influenced by Glenn telling her.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Glen A saying, you know...
Glen A. Baker,
Yeah,
yeah,
Glen A.
yeah,
Baker's like, you're a blues singer, you're a rock singer, and I'm like, I don't care, but you're talking to me, so this is cool. So you can call me what you want. So Mick and I had been writing a fair bit as well, and I said, I really want to do a rock album. I'd love to work with Mark Opitz. And Mick's like, just call him. I'm like, no, I'm too scared. I'm not going to call him. He's like, just call him. I'm like, no, I'm not going to. All right, I'll call him. So I called him, and I just said, you know, hi, I'm Rose. Blah blah blah. We'd like to record an album with you and Colin down in Melbourne. Can I send you through some of my previous work just to see if you're interested in working with us, you know? And he said, yeah, absolutely, no worries at all. Send me some stuff, and I sent him some of my previous work through.
That's really good.
Yeah,
You know, for someone at that level to
yeah.
you know, just run with it. Obviously, loved your work. You know, that's the
Yeah,
main thing.
I was stoked. Yeah, so
Because we're talking about, mate, he had a book out, I read one of his books and all that, and some great Australian.
Yeah, very, very
rock-
well connected.
Yeah, great Australian rock
history.
history.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Aussie
brilliant
crawl.
stuff.
Yeah.
Sorry, and continue on. Yeah.
No, that's all right. Yeah, so then he contacted us, said, yep, love to work with you, no worries. So we had I guess, a whole body of work ready to go. And then it was a matter of putting the band together, but the recording band. But Time Is Now, that album ARIA charted.
Yep.
And that the lead single from that Time Is Now was probably the biggest single from that song, from that album. But we had Paulie Wosteen from the Screaming Jets on bass and toured with us for a little bit of that.
I was going to say,
yeah,
some great musicians.
he's like a brother to us.
Yeah.
He's such a great mate and just a genius musician.
Yeah. I love the film clip where he's bouncing around.
Yeah.
These are all bouncing around.
Yeah, it was crazy. And actually, after
Good times by the looks of it.
after that, we did my album. Paul actually had a solo album out. And he said, "Come on the road," and I said, "All right." So I did a solo tour with him, and we.
That's fantastic. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I opened for him at a bunch of shows, and then he
Yeah.
went on, and we, sing some songs together. And as I say, he's like family, so it was great fun. But yeah, so we did Time Is Now, and during that time we met Steve King and Mr. Mick Shady O'Shea, didn't we, at the Bridge Hotel, and we were chatting to Kingy one night at the bar, and he goes, "How you going?" Didn't he? We just started chatting, and he asked what we were doing musically, and I said, "Oh, we should do some gigs." He goes, "Yeah, all right."
Yeah, Steve King, he's done a lot of work.
It's 9 years with the Tats.
But yeah, 9 years with Rose Tattoo, played at Lights of Wackman, all those type of joints.
Big
some
Wells,
great stuff. I was actually on the phone today, got an interview coming up with him very soon.
Oh.
And, another way I want to talk to, and you just mentioned then before, Mick O'Shea. What a lovely man.
He's gorgeous.
I met him like yourself. I just met him a little while back, and it was funny actually. He was playing with Heaven, and I got him a rehearsal studio, and I was talking to him out the front. We're having a smoke out the front, and going, "Hey, yeah, so mate, so what bands have you been in?" And and he goes, "I've been in a few," and he didn't really even. Such a lovely bloke. He didn't sit there, rattle them off and go, "Well, who are you not to know who I was in," and all this stuff. Just a humble
He's
man.
One of the most down-to-earth people I've ever met in my life. He's awesome.
Yeah, lovely man.
Yeah, he is.
And who else was there with you? We covered King. So, and then who else is some others that you played with on your albums? Or?
Oh yeah, so well of course Mick and a couple of your ex-drummer from Rogue Sharks, Ben Ashwood, Steve, my brother-in-law as well, played on Time Is Now. Who else? I think I've pretty much everyone.
Keyboards.
Oh, Andrew Dawson, of course, yeah.
No.
Oh.
Time Is Now.
Oh, Time Is Now.
Moore. M-O-A-R was it?
Rodney Moore.
Rodney Moore, yeah.
Sorry,
brilliant.
Rod.
Sorry, Rod.
2015.
Out,
Rod's awesome. He's in Sydney, yeah. So we sort of added bits and pieces, and I guess that's the beauty of co-producing, because you had 4 heads on the album, and everyone's got their own different ideas, and you meld them together, and some work, some don't, and it's all good,
Where did the funding part come from? For your film clips,
Me.
Was that you? Was it really? Because it's you'll hear in my interviews a lot. I'm very fascinated by film clips. I
robbed a bank.
Kind of doing my own editing and learning as I go, but I'm very fascinated. You always got to look good,
I didn't do it. I paid someone.
That's brilliant stuff,
I think that's. To me, like a film clip or your album or whatever, that's your business card, isn't it? So you've really got to, and it's there forever.
Yeah, and speaking of those members, you mentioned Mick Atkins. Great bloke, mate.
He's all right.
He's all right. He's all right.
He's all right. He's very, very held in high esteem amongst a lot of musicians I know. Very much so. I remember when Rose, when that were talking before, when we first met, and I remember it was a weird vibe when these guys walked into these surrounds. We had a situation going on with a few musos and things like that, and trust me, I'm not trying to pull up your asses or anything here, but I noticed everyone was like,
oh really?
Rose is here, Mick's here, and everyone was straightening themselves up.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
And rock royalty walking in here, But the thing is, the thing that I've noticed with it is that you are these great musicians, but I'll use that word humble again, but but you're fantastic people. You're great to get along with. You know, like instantaneous. You know, I love that. Well, I spoke about it a couple of interviews with another band there the other day. It's great when things gel, especially with musos, and you're gelling. You know, people are people. You know,
absolutely.
You know, there's some people you don't get on with. There's people you get on. There's people you get on great with. When you're a musician or in the music industry, and you get on with people that are fantastic. It's a great vibe because you know you're in a workplace basically. Yeah. You're in a workplace surrounded by great people, and we all know what it's like to work with, you know, in a place that's full of people you don't like.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just think, you know, everyone is human. Everyone, you know, has a life. Everyone should be treated, you know, like they matter.
Yeah.
And you know, everyone breathes air and does other things that other people do, and you know, like we're all human, you know, and I think there's no room for bull. I can't be bothered with it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, most of us can't.
Yeah.
So Mick, Road Sharks. We were that's why I rang him up in Tasmania the other day. Bloody hell, interfering with your family stuff.
No.
But mate, very very interesting. Having read a lot of stuff on it today, and discussions we were having a few days ago, there's an interesting story behind that album.
There is. So the latest album, In For The Kill, the songs, there's a few of those songs that were written early 90s. My brother's got my brother Stephen is younger than me, a really, really good songwriter.
Got a good 90s feel to it, just quietly.
And some that I'd written in Perth, sort of around 95, 96, and then when I moved back, we got together songwriting, and we started an album. I had my own business in Tassie, and we were desperate to get an album, and I thought, how am I going to get cash quick? So I went to the bank and said I wanted to invest back into the business, and they said, well, how much do you need? And I said, I don't know, 10 grand. Right, over there you go. It was in the bank the next day, and didn't go anywhere into the business, just went straight into recording an album.
Yep.
And I mean, it cost a lot more than that over time, but the first 8 or so tracks...
We won't let the bank know that.
No, the first 8 or so tracks were already done. They'd been recorded, mixed and mastered. But we got to a certain track, which was actually the second track on the album that we did release in 2007. And the engineer we were working with at the time, Michael Shelley, and our mastering guy, Adam McElney, both said, that's the sound you should be chasing, and it wasn't a modern sound. So Stephen and I discussed it and said, okay, well, we do have other songs that sort of work in with that. So they got shelved, and we worked on this whole new album, and 15 or 16 tracks on the 2007 album. And it was great. We were really, really happy with it. But then we sort of found ourselves not playing too many of those songs in our live set. There was about 4 songs off the album that we did live, but we were playing all these other ones live. And then so for many, many years, we
got shelved.
And then after I moved here, and with a certain birthday approaching, I said to my brother, we need to go back to all these studios. There were about 3 studios that had drum tracks that were over 20 years old, and get everything sent to me here in Sydney. I took it to Manor Studios, which is now called Alias Music, and David Manor and I, so it was a good 2.5 years. So
every Wednesday night.
2019 was when we got all the tracks together, and out of 27 songs, we started working on the 13 that we were going to pick for that album, and we just knuckled down on that. We had 2 years of COVID lockdowns and whatnot, which was a nuisance, but at the same time, there were a lot of ideas that I had while I wasn't in the studio, listening to some of the mixes and whatnot, and then just writing down various ideas. So that by the time we got back,
it rekindled.
That's right.
Rekindled your vibe for the album, which is great, so you can modernise it.
That's right. And we had different song titles. We didn't know really what we kept referring to it as prehistoric, because it was the prehistory of everything else that we'd done. And but in the end, we named it In For The Kill after the title track, which had previously been released, but was a hidden track on the first album. And the crazy thing about it was that it was actually hidden behind track 1. But not everybody had a CD player that could rewind behind track 1 at home or in their car. So I sort of felt that song was being missed, and I'd written it with a very, very good mate who's since passed away. and I didn't want that song to just be unknown. So we resurrected that, and Blair Jones, who's a WA lad that I started the band with back in the mid-90s, we weren't able to locate the vocal tracks off the original recording.
Yep.
But we had the original demo vocal tracks that were recorded at my brother's place.
Yep.
So the point of difference is that it's still the same drum track, but we've got the different vocal line, and I replaced a couple of guitar parts. But it's essentially the same arrangement, but just with a newer, fresher.
Okay, who was producing that? Was it
Me.
really? That's so much
Yeah.
work, man.
Sure is.
A credit to you, you know, to have something that you love so much, you know, and it could have just been wasted, and you know, as you said, three different studios sitting in cupboards somewhere.
He has such focus.
Thing I love,
Yeah.
Such focus.
thing I love about that song is that Scott Chapman, who I co-wrote it with originally, he passed away a few years ago, but I was able to contact his brother
Yeah.
just only in the last couple of weeks to say, hey, this song's out now. It's actually the title track of the
Yeah.
album. You know, Scott's going to be credited for it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he was ever aware of the first version that ever
Yeah.
went out, but I just want the family to know that, you know, legend lives on.
Oh,
Yeah.
I can tell you right now, I was nearly going to turn around and say, do yourselves a favour.
Yeah.
And
What Molly would say.
I struggled to not do that then, but do yourselves a favour.
Yeah.
And look,
It's a great album.
yeah, do this musician a favour. Listen to this stuff. Get download it. You just heard the story behind this song, this album. It's great stuff. I love hearing stuff like that, especially when stuff's been resurrected, you know,
Yeah.
and it's been lost forever. And it's a great. I've listened to it. It's a great sound. It's deserving of today. Get on stage and let's blow this out. You need a bass player. You might do.
Was just a sycophantic lie. You were out for blood, but you left me high and dry. See my battle scars, now I'll never be the same. Lessons learned so far, when you see